You are now entering Night Storm Nation.
All I have to say is this.
Child abuse.
If you are one of those people
Divorce.
that have been put down all of your life,
Infidelity.
beat up and trapped in a pit of woe,
Depression.
it is time for you to stand up with the Night Storm Nation, because we aren't going anywhere.
I'm NYGHTSTORM, the man not afraid to be transparent, as I help real people with real issues. And my co-host is my queen, my stunningly gorgeous wife.
Good morning. This is Toby George, Night Storm. Lady Night Storms, everyone out there. And this is Night Storm Radio. Radio gone real because we are you.
Yeah, now if you're in the ATL Night Storm Nation, please call in at 404-355-8699. And to all the Night Storm Nation members around the country, call in at 1-866-923-2860. Also, find out more about us, the Night Storms, at nightstorm.com, NYGHTSTORM.com. And you can also listen to our show from the talk show page on our website as well as on love860.com.
That's right. And all you smartphone owners out there, do not forget, download either iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, or iRadionow. Go to the Talk Radio section, look up Love 860 AM, and find us, YG and Toby, Night Storm Radio, and listen to us anywhere in the world you are. No excuses. We're right here.
Uh-oh, the queen done got on y'all, so...
Wait. It's one more thing I want to tell them now.
Uh-huh.
We have an opportunity today for 2 lucky listeners to win ticket to this Saturday's Women Leadership Expo.
That sounds interesting.
Right, so if you would like to go this Saturday, April 5th, to the Women's Leadership Expo, just give us a call. YG has already given you the numbers, but I'm just going to reiterate. It is 404-355-8699. Call in and get in on this Night Storm Nation. You don't want to miss out.
Yeah, ladies, y'all need to get on top with that women's leadership. It's going to be a lot of powerful individuals there that's going to help y'all with life and a whole bunch of stuff. Ain't that right, my queen?
That's right. So 2 lucky listeners, you get a chance to win 2 tickets. We got 4 tickets.
Okay, so what's on tap for today, baby?
All righty. Today we're going to be talking about respect and compassion for others.
So that sounds like we going to get real deep today with Night Storm Nation here on Night Storm Radio. Am I right, baby?
That's right. We sure are. And you know just how we like to do it around here. We like to get in. We like to wallow around in the real stuff and, get it all over you. Feel good about it.
Get all that realness all over you
That's
so we can deal with it. So
let's get started.
That
here,
didn't quite
shall
sound
we?
right, but we're going to keep it moving.
You know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
We like to keep it real. We like to be transparent. We like to let people know that we understand where we're coming from. That's why we have our whole motto of we are you. So while preparing for the show, I was reading through some emails. You know, we get our emails from our little email address, which I don't even know if we've ever shared that with Night Storm Nation.
I think it might be time we need to share it.
I mean, apparently we have because we're getting letters, but I don't know if everyone knows. But that's the Night Storms. That's NYGHTSTORMS, because we are the Night Storms, at Nightstorm, that's without the S.com.
Okay.
And this is where we get all our letters. And I grabbed this one particular one that caught my attention as far as the relevance to our topic. And that letter goes, Dear Night Storms, let me first say that I love your show. It is great to hear a long-time married couple loving each other and, most of all, loving themselves. There's a very real lack of people who honestly love themselves, and this is essential if they want to truly love and respect others.
True.
Now, I was blessed enough to be raised in a household with both parents, and my parents, and especially my father, taught all of us, brothers and sisters alike, the importance of self-love and self-respect.
That's a good man.
That's right. Now, as I look around at people, both young and old alike, and listen to the information displayed on some television and radio formats, it just saddens me how love and respect for self and others is truly dwindling. I want to say thank God for you, Night Storms, and keep up the good work.
Now, thank you very much, Night Storm Nation member. And, that is kind of deep because We got a big blended family with you and I,
Yes, we
and
do.
7 children.
Yes, we do.
And I honestly, when I was growing up, and I'm sure the Night Storm Nation understands when I've said this in the past, that, I grew up alone. I grew up as a kid that was abused, and I didn't really have anybody. And I didn't know how to love myself because I felt that I wasn't worthy of love because of the way I was treated. I was abandoned by Dad, and because I looked like Dad, and Dad used to beat up Mom all the time, then Mom started taking it out on me. So it's like I had absolutely no clue what self-love was. And I grew up, and those kind of behaviors festered in me, and it was destructive. And it can tear up a life, sweetheart.
And, not only that, I didn't have the abuse in the household, but I was raised by my grandmother because, my parents found other things more important, I imagine. But, they were there. They were in and out. It wasn't, stable like she was saying, and went through a lot of things. And not having that stability of your parents there does cause you to have some issues that come up later in life, as we've had our own marital challenges. So I want to say that I really appreciate the Night Storm Nation listener that wrote this letter.
Right. Thank you.
Definitely agree with you, and know that things really are kind of doing a little backslide here. So,
But Lady Night Storm.
Yes, sir.
I think we have another expert online that might can chime in on these things because, we experts, but we always like to outsource sometimes and bring in some good folks. America ain't the only place that outsources. Night Storm Nation does too. So, ma'am, are you ready for your guest, ma'am?
Yes, I am. Mr. Jared, could you please cue that music?
Uh-oh. Yeah. Now, Night Storm Nation, we are playing 5-Star Chick because this young lady is a 5-star chick. Take it away, my queen.
That is absolutely right. Our first guest specializes in helping her listeners feel special. Author of The 10 Commandments of Loving Yourself, she believes it is vital to love and respect yourself in order to accept the love you deserve and to be able to love others.
Yeah.
Dr. Alves developed a curriculum used in women's prisons and is underway in several high schools. Ladies and gentlemen of Night Storm Nation, it is my honor, privilege, and pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Jen Alves.
Yeah!
Wow. Well, thank you so much for that intro.
Good morning. Thank you so much for being here to be introduced.
Yeah, Dr. Alves, you a special person.
I'm honored. I'm honored to be on your show. Your show is, just your topic is so needed. I'm just thrilled that you have that show and that you're doing what you're doing. It's great.
Well, we thrilled to have you, ma'am. And the reason why we wanted to introduce you special, because we've done our fair amount of research on you, and you deserve to be introduced like that everywhere you go. Actually, you need your own theme music.
Well, thank you. Everyone deserves quite an intro like that. I firmly believe that we're all special, so.
All right.
That's
Now,
awesome.
Dr. Alves, we want to get into this topic of self-love and respect for others and each other. And why do you feel so many people have no respect for one another anymore?
Well, I truly, there's a few, I think it's multifactorial, of course, and, some of it is the media. They don't portray people in a self-respecting fashion or respecting of others. I think that abandonment, what you were talking about earlier, when you're opening, as a child in any kind of capacity, and it happens a lot today. And I'm not saying that divorced children grow up to be disrespectful or don't love themselves. I'm not saying that at all. When I talk about things today, it's not all or nothing. I don't want that to be misconstrued. Okay, so there's a lot of abandonment out there, and I think when people are abandoned and they feel lost, they make decisions. Some people make poor decisions to begin with. They might marry the wrong person just out of fear of being alone, or they might stay with the wrong person out of fear of being abandonment. So I think abandonment is a big issue. The media is a big issue. Those are huge issues right there.
Yes, ma'am. And something, I think you're hitting on a very, very good point, because so many of us, ma'am, I'm not unique in the fact that I grew up and having these abandonment issues because I grew up in a very, very hectic household. But there are millions of adults who grew up just like me, and they have issues with respecting each other because they actually, ma'am, they don't really have any kind of respect for themselves. So what I want to ask you this is, we're going to get a little bit deeper. How can we, as folks who are imperfect, as folks who may have grown up broken, and we lack self-respect for ourselves, how can we respect each other more? And where does the love factor play in this formula of yours, ma'am?
Okay, well, first thing, this is my specialty. What I like to do. Mm-hmm. I just want to tell you that I did develop a curriculum in the prison, and a lot of people have never heard any self-respecting messages. Mm-hmm. You know, they never got that from their families. They don't get it from anybody else. And how do you help people, like, you know, in those situations? And what I do is I point out spiritually and scientifically why everyone out there is special. Now, if we look at the spirituality of it, you can say that your God thinks you're special, and just that alone is enough for some people. Mm-hmm. But for the people that don't have a spiritual base, I then talk science. So can I have a minute here just to tell you scientifically why we are all special?
Go
I think
right
it's
ahead.
important that everybody out there knows this. And the first thing I want to talk about is that just in order for two people to be alike, we have to have our physical bodies alike, our environmental encounters alike, our spiritual matters alike. Otherwise, you're not alike. So there are over 1 trillion cells in our body. You know, in order for two people to be alike, all of those cells have to be the same, mm-hmm. right? And if all those cells are the same, then all of your experiences have to be the same, and all of your thoughts have to be the same. So if you look at your DNA, you know, people are made up with, they have these little DNAs, and they replicate, and they split, and things like that. And there are, even, the research shows that even identical twins are different. Mm-hmm. So it's very important to understand from a scientific point of view that no two people are alike, ever. Not in the past, and not in the future will any one of you out there be alike anybody else. So right then and there, people need to understand that they are unique mm-hmm. and different.
Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, and that's on the scientific aspect. And also, if you want to come at it with a spiritual aspect, because this is what Toby and I do. When we're doing our seminars, ma'am, and when folks come to us and say, you know, Night Storms, you know, we went through some of the same experiences that you guys have gone through. And I am a broken person, and I'm raising broken children, and I'm having problems with them because of the lack of respect, and they don't want to be around anybody. I don't want to be around anybody. I love my kids, but I don't want to be around them. So what we say, because you broke down eloquently, ma'am, about the uniqueness of the DNA that everybody, even if you're cloned, you're going to be different. But as far as the spiritual aspect, ma'am, you know, when God made us, he made us unique, and he loves us all. And there is a real deep trench here where folks just aren't getting, even if they have the scientific knowledge, even if they have the spiritual knowledge, that God loves us. But we need to start loving ourselves. So how do you, ma'am, teach, you know, young people about respect? How do you do that?
Well, I think part of it is they need to see it. We can sit here and talk to people till we're blue in the face, but if they don't see it in any kind of role modeling, then they don't know what you're talking about. So you can give examples of, you know, I think it's, I work with teenagers too, and mm-hmm. I give them examples of what things can be done, you know, to others to show them respect. You know, you say hello, or, you know, kids today, they might swear at people, or they might do this, and I'll give them examples of what they can do. And you need to come back with rewards. It's always good to reward the behavior you want and not focus so much on the punishment of the behaviors that you don't. Because when you're focusing on the rewards, you're focusing on positive things. And I think today people need to hear positive things. Mm-hmm. And with teenagers, you know, I have my own teenagers, and I sit down, you know, if they're acting out, and, you know, I'll say to them, this is, you know, it's okay if you rebel. You're supposed to rebel. But I don't want you to hurt yourself or hurt other people when you're doing it. And I want for you to be free. I want for you to, you know, be on your computer, whatever you want to do. But at the same time, we need to get this done. So there's a balance there of giving them respecting their freedom, because they need respect too, and, you know, setting down some boundaries. And I think part of the spirituality that we're talking about, I'll say a big problem that I've come across, People do not understand forgiveness. They don't. I would like to say that God is not the travel agent of guilt trips. He is not.
Wait a minute, hold on. I need you to say that one
know
more
that
time.
was a very interesting
statement.
I'll
say that a few times. I do say that. That's something that I say all of the time, that God is not the travel agent of guilt trips. So I had, I'll just touch base on an inmate that I was helping. I don't know what people are in there for when I go in there. I just go in there and, I don't need to know what people are in there for. And there was this one person that would just come in my class and cry the entire time. And she felt guilty. And I'm thinking, what is it, that I can do to help this person? And I told her that she thought that certain sins would lead to certain punishments. And I showed her, now this is where, my understanding of the Bible is everybody has different understandings of it, but God forgives all sins. So I said to her, you are forgiven. Ask for forgiveness, and you will be forgiven. Because if you think that your God is not forgiving, you're judging your God, really. So, and then later on, after I had left, I did do a quick search online, and it was posted what she was there for. And she had run over a family, and so she was there for life. She couldn't forgive herself for that. And I said, if your God forgives you, what right do you have to not forgive yourself?
That's deep, because a lot of people, you can't get past, your own self at times. You can't see the forest for the trees and whatever other, sayings that we grew up with. And it's very hard to get past, that guilt. And especially if you grew up, some people definitely use that as a mean of control. You have some parents that, they're known for the guilt trip and everything. So we're going to get ready to take a break, but very, very fast before we go there, I just want to ask you, how did you come about focusing on this topic of all the things in the world to focus on?
Yeah.
I had a string of failed relationships. I went through a divorce. My self-esteem had plummeted. Yeah. And I was the captain of my cheerleading team in high school. I came from a family where we had a nice family. My father died when I was younger. So I did have an abandonment issue. And so it left me at a young age. He died. I'm 15, 16, and it left me vulnerable to misunderstanding the difference between sexual relations and love. And it's very important that you understand the difference there and how you act and how you make decisions. So over time, my self-esteem had plummeted, and to be honest with you, I prayed about it. And then I was inspired to write this book. And this book was written in the totality of an hour.
Wow. Well, I want to get more into that conversation with you, but we're going to take this break. And when we come back, we're going to continue to talk to Dr. Alves about self-respect, respect for others, and let Night Storm Nation know that they are loved and they are important. And God sees us as individuals and know everything about us and still loves us.
Man, we having a good time with Dr. Jen Alves.
Right.
We will be back on the other end of the break. You are listening to Night Storm Radio right here on Love 860 WAEC, Atlanta's real inspirational talk radio station. You ever been so depressed to where you want to hurt yourself because life has been unkind, unfair, and unforgivable? Folks done hurt you and thrown you away? Yeah, I know, because I was there too, until I read this book by NYGHTSTORM called All Action No Talk. This dude has been there, man. He understands us. He was homeless, abused as a child, abandoned by his dad, and even his oldest son passed away. I'm encouraged because if this dude can make it, so can I, and so can you. So check it out at nightstorm.com, NYGHTSTORM, and know that you have the strength to change your life despite adversity, like him, like me, like you.
Hey, you, guy or gal that's listening,
Are you enjoying the night storms? Good. If you want the 411 on me, YG Night Storm.
And me, Toby George Night Storm, a.k.a. Lady Night Storm, visit nightstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM.com. Check out our informative blogs, videos, and see what Night Storm Nation is doing to benefit the community. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
Thanks again for listening to the Night Storms on Night Storm Radio every Thursday at 11 a.m. to noon on Love 860 a.m. Atlanta's inspirational station. We are you.
Hi everyone, it's me, Lady Night Storm, and have I got news for you. Want to know how to keep up with us and what we're doing in the community? It's easy. Just like us on Facebook at Night Storm Radio. Follow us on Twitter at Night Storm Radio and become part of the Night Storm Nation mailing list at nightstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM. Keep up with all our promotions, contests, and latest happenings. Night Storm Radio. We are you.
You are now rocking with the Night Storms on Atlanta's inspirational station, Love 860 AM WAEC. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to Night Storm Radio.
Yeah.
And if you would like to call in and be a part of this wonderful conversation that we're having with Dr. Alves about self-respect and love for yourself and love for others, call us at 404-355-8699 or nationwide at 866-923-2860.
Yeah, now, Dr. Alves, we are having an intriguing conversation, okay? Because I myself and the Queen am enjoying you, ma'am, okay? So let's break some stuff down. Let's have a conversation. You don't mind that, do you, ma'am?
Oh, no, this is great.
Okay, all right, now, we've talked about some ways how people can't find self-love for themselves. So I want to ask you this, because a lot of folks are wondering just how important is this self-love thing, ma'am?
Well, I always like to start off by saying that we're not talking about being a narcissist. A lot of people say, oh, you're telling people to be narcissists, or you're just all into yourself and self-absorbed, and we're not talking about that at all.
Uh-huh.
We are talking about cherishing yourself because you're special. You are unique and special. Mm-hmm. And when you what happens is if you hate yourself, you either make bad decisions because you need the approval of other people. So a lot of your decisions, you might do drugs or go out with the wrong person because you don't want to be alone or you're afraid of being abandoned or things like that. So we want to make our decisions based from a foundation of liking ourselves, being in a good place. That's what's important there. So it has to do with this understanding that you should be cherished. And let's just take a look at the gems in the world. Everybody thinks that the diamond probably is the rarest gem, or it costs a lot of money for diamonds, right?
Right.
But in fact, there are other gems that are more rare. And the reason they're special, the reason the gems are special, they're special for different reasons. One is the way they're made. Some are made, underground, deep down, beneath the surface. Others, it's what they're made of. They have complex formulas that others don't, and some of them are only found in one location, like in San Bernardino or something like that. That's what makes some of these gems so rare. So if you look at people, they're made in a special way themselves. Should be through love, right? Conceived, all of that. So we're made special, and so we too should be cherished. So when you cherish yourself, then you'll be in a better position to make better decisions. You're not going to make a decision on being abandoned if you like yourself, right?
Right.
And you might hang out with a crowd that's not trying to lead you down a path of drugs. You can be with them, or trying to get you to do stuff that you don't necessarily want to do, because you're okay with yourself. You're your own best friend. And you're not a narcissist. It's okay to like yourself and love yourself.
It is okay, because Lord knows I love me some me. But, and Toby gets on me, and I get on her sometime, because we do love each other greatly. And I think the only people I love more than me is Toby, and God first, Toby, and then my children. Everybody else, I'm sorry, world, I just love me some YG Night Storm.
Yes. And he's honestly telling the truth. But Dr. Alves, I was having this conversation with my son. I believe it was yesterday, maybe the day before. Time, the sun goes up, the sun goes down when all you do is work. But he asked me a question. He was like, Mom, what's the difference between being self-confident and being arrogant? Because you see these athletes and different people in the entertainment industry who make the statement like YG just made, I love me some me. And, my answer to him was, you have to balance that with humility. It's one thing to be confident, know you can, accomplish something, but you have to also know that all things are through God. And, how do you break that down when you're asked that question? Or when you tell somebody you got to have self-confidence, or like you just said, you're telling people to be a narcissist. And the difference there?
Well, okay. I think this is just my thinking. It's not tested. I haven't tested it. But I think that arrogance, you kind of think you're better than everybody.
Mm-hmm.
One thing to be self-confident and be good at something, maybe you found your calling, maybe you found a gift. We all have gifts. It's okay to be great at the gift you have. It's another to be thinking that you're better than everybody else out there, because I'm going to tell you something. We're all special. Mm-hmm. We're not better than one another. Some of us have found the gifts that we should be doing, and some of us haven't. So that's where I would make that distinction right there. I tell my friends on Facebook, they can brag away. A lot of people say, Facebook's all bragging and this and that. The people that I have on my Facebook are the people that cherish me, and I cherish them. It's wonderful when you do that, because the messages that you're getting are you're feeding back on that positiveness, and they're allowed to, quote, brag. They're allowed to. Those are their gifts. Most of them are humanitarians, and they're allowed to be proud of what they're doing. But it's the person that just thinks that they're better than everybody, or that somehow, that. I would say, I think that's where I make a distinction.
Okay, and you know something, and you and the Queen are absolutely right. And I think a good dose of humility helps a lot of people as well. So, ma'am, you done broke down some stuff. And I want the NYGHTSTORM Nation to know, because I know everybody is like, YG, why don't you just ask her where we can get in contact with her? How can we find her? So, ma'am, Dr. Alves, can you please enlighten the NYGHTSTORM Nation where they can find you, ma'am, and get all this great knowledge from?
I know all these helpful tips that you're giving.
Good stuff, man.
Okay, first of all, I developed the website, which is in development, rockonwithrespect.com.
Rock
on. I would like to invite you to become a part of that website. You can check it out. They can find me there under motivational speakers. There's I have a videotape. I have a TV show that's statewide out in Rhode Island. And they can reach me through rockonwithrespect.com under motivational speakers.
Okay.
My book is on Amazon.com. My book is very different than my curriculum. It's a very different sort of thing. It's more flowery and just it's very short. Especially people who have attention deficit, you can read all in a matter of 20 minutes.
Okay.
There's a Ten Commandment page. There's a 10 Commandment page in there, the 10 Commandments, but my curriculum is very different. And I'm on Facebook at Jennifer Alves. You can find me there
right.
too.
So on Facebook, on Amazon, and we're rocking on and
rockonwithrespect.com.
That's right. So
I invite you to be a part of that if you want.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely join up with that. So, Dr. Alves, I want to thank you. We really enjoyed this conversation. Really enjoyed the time that you spent.
I want to thank you both.
Well,
thank you both. You're very inspiring, and I appreciate what you're doing. And I think together we can all help others to grow and realize how special they are.
You come back anytime you want. You know how to contact us, and we'll be waiting to hear from you in the future and see what else you got going on.
Thank you so much, and have a great day.
You too, Dr. Alves.
That
was awesome, man.
That was. All right, NYGHTSTORM Nation. We still got these tickets sitting here. I know you want to go to the Women Leadership Expo.
Y'all know y'all
404-355-8699. That self-love, that self-confidence. So, YG.
Yes, ma'am.
We've gone through a lot of stuff together.
Yes, we have.
And it's been a long I'm just joking. I was just joking.
Like, what you trying to say after these 14 years, my queen? You on live. Everybody can hear you now. Mm-hmm.
Well,
you can't choke a brother out in the closet
right?
at home like you normally do. We got witnesses.
Oh my
here.
goodness. And then I even let you out on Thursday so you can come do the show with me.
Yeah, you let me out to work. You say, all right, come on, money maker, go on to work. And then I'll put you back in the closet, feed you sometime.
Well, anyway, we've gone through a lot. We've raised 7 kids. We've been married, divorced, married again. We've had good times. We've had bad times. But the one thing that keeps going?
What?
We getting old.
Yeah, man, we ain't no spring chickens no more, baby. I'll admit that. Mm-hmm.
I saw a gray hair. I didn't know you can have one at the other day, but we ain't gonna get into that.
Don't you be talking about my gray hair.
Well, talking about yours, I'm talking about mine.
I don't say nothing about your gray hair. I don't see nothing but beautiful, beautiful, long, luscious hair of the queen of my life.
All right,
boy, I'm good.
But anyway, we're not as young as we used to be.
Right.
And as the years go by, we've had these discussions about how, life is going to be in our golden years. And we want to, continue to reside at home and having the kids check in on us and tend to our needs. And we hope at least half of them. There's 7 of those suckers. You would think at least half of them.
You would think, man.
Would visit us and, make sure the old man and mom are, doing well and they don't need nothing.
Well, I would hope so, too, with all we do and have done for them. But, sweetheart, there are people out there who have advanced in years, as we say, and are residing in nursing homes. And we assume that they have family that care about them and that are checking in on them every day. But unfortunately, that ain't always the case. Now, we received an email a little while back from a listener who resides in New Jersey that reached out to us and requested to be a guest on our radio show because he wanted to bring attention to an organization that he is involved in that helps our seniors feel better and, kind of reassure them that somebody is out there for them.
Mr. Nightstorm, your second guest is on the line.
Well, thank you, Jared. You know how Jared just comes in so good. Can I respond to him in my British accent? Thank you, Jared. I really appreciate that. And if you can cue his music, please, so I can introduce him properly. Ha ha!
Sorry, Jared. He didn't even let me get a chance to say no. Sorry.
Nightstorm Nation, if you don't know, you better ask somebody.
What?
Our next guest is the Vice President as well as Coordinator of the National Nursing Home Intuitive for TURN-A-FROWN-AROUND. He has been a vital part in the organization's drive to get the word out, the need for volunteers in our nursing homes. He has received the Good Samaritan Award from the Rotary Club of New Jersey, all while battling his own personal health issues. So, ladies and gentlemen of Nightstorm Nation, it is our honor, privilege, and pleasure to introduce to you the one, the only, Mr. Angel Ed. Yeah!
Hello, thank you very much for that introduction. That was very, very nice.
Well, thank you, Angel. Now, you are so special. And Toby and I take time to research the folks that we invite on our show. And, sir, you deserve to be introduced like that everywhere you go, sir, especially with the stuff you do, man.
Thank you so much. I deeply appreciate it. Everything I do, though, I do for God. Everything, he gets all the glory. It's not me. And I tell everyone that. And all the interviews, everything that I do, this is all God. He brings me to where I need to be, and I do what he tells me to do.
Yes, sir, and I agree with that 100%. Now, I want to ask you something, because we're going to get into this, because what you're talking about is very, very deep and what a lot of folks don't realize. So I want to ask you this, sir. How did you become interested in visiting nursing homes?
My story, it's very, to me, it's very crazy. I have multiple sclerosis. And in 2004, I heard about a trip that goes to Lourdes, France. At Lourdes, the Blessed Mother was seen there by a small girl, Bernadette, and there's healing water there. Mm-hmm. And thousands of people go there every year to be healed. And in 2004, I called the place up, which is close to my house, actually. They had a pilgrimage going, and they were booked. And I was very, very upset with that. I didn't understand why God wouldn't let me. It was all about me then. Mm-hmm. I want my MS to be gone, and why did you not let me go? So I had to wait a whole year And in 2005, I went to Lourdes, and I was there with 44 other people. I didn't know any of them. We were on a pilgrimage, and I met a lady there with Alzheimer's, and her name was Donna. And she could not speak, but she could understand everything I said, and we'd talk with her eyes and stuff like that. And when we came back, she was in a nursing home about 20 minutes from my house. And that's how the whole thing started for me. I would go up there and I'd visit her. She was on the Alzheimer's floor, and there was 55 women up there, all had Alzheimer's. And when I would be done visiting with her, I'd come out, and I'd just look in the hallway and look around, and there was never, ever a visitor up there. I mean, ever. And so I would start visiting all 55 women. And I went up there like anywhere from 3 to 5 days a week. I would stay there for 2 to 3 hours every time I was there and just spend time with each and every one. I made sure that I spent time with each and every one of them. And then this was in August of 2005. In October, my friend Donna died. And I went to the head nurse, and I said, is it okay if I keep coming back here? I have a very special bond with these people. And she said, I get very emotional about this. And she said to me, she said, Ed, they don't remember anybody. They don't even remember the nurses, but they all remember you. Mm-hmm. And that just really blew me away. And ever since that day, and this is like 8.5 years ago, I've been doing it ever since then. And now, a year ago, the TURN-A-FROWN-AROUND came to me. Drew Horn, the founder of it, came to me. He read about me in a couple articles, and he came to me. And what the TURN-A-FROWN-AROUND does, they go to nursing homes, and we find out what residents there get no visitors at all, and we get them a forever friend. Someone will show up at least once a week for 20 minutes and spend time with just that one person, let them know how special they really are. And he came to me in February of last year and said, I really can't get this going. When he came to me, they were around for 11.5 years. He had under 40 forever friends in 11.5 years. And I told him, I said, the first thing we do, we go to churches. If you're at church for the right reason, you have the compassion in your heart, and you're there for others. And in 3 to 4 months, I had over 120 forever friends.
Wow.
Well, that answers my question, because I was just about to ask you, Angel Ed, how you got involved with them. I mean, this is a very strong initiative, and they've been going on for a while now. Mm-hmm. Is this just a New Jersey thing? I know we're about to take a break in a minute. How far has this reached?
We're going through the whole United States. I'm doing interviews across the nation on Christian radio stations. I just went to Connecticut on a Christian TV station, and we did an interview there. And the priest that did it, he was so moved. They also have a radio station there. He's going to put it on the radio. And in 2 months, he said he's going to have me come back on the radio show and do a live radio interview and also take questions from people. And we're doing this nationwide. My goal is to be in all 50 states by the end of this year.
Wow. Okay. Now, something, because we've done a fair amount of research on you, sir. And before we get any deeper, because we're coming up against a hard break, but before we go out, I want to tell you this, man, that the things, because you also talked about your own particular personal issue, and you are not going to allow your own particular issues to get in the way of the work that God has put in front of you. So I know we're finna take a break. And on the other end of the break, we are going to get in very, very deep on just why you are so purposeful in this, because it's always a reason why when people get their lives together and have a passion to do something. So I'll share some of my passions, and Angel Ed's going to share his on exactly why he's doing this. You are listening to NYGHTSTORM Radio on Love 860 WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station. See you on the other side of the break.
We'll be right back.
To all event planners, are you worried that your next corporate get-together is going to be boring?
Then invite the NYGHTSTORMs to speak at your next event and electrify your organization as we break down how to grow your business, fix broken relationships, and conquer life challenges.
So make your next event epic. Invite me and the Queen to rock the house with inspirational techniques designed to empower individuals and maximize their true potential.
And thanks for listening to NYGHTSTORM Radio on Love 860 AM WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational station.
We are you.
This is Toby George Nightstorm, a.k.a. Lady Nightstorm, and I'm known as the woman not afraid to tell the truth about how things really are. And the truth I have to say to you is you should listen to Nightstorm Radio every Thursday from 11 to noon. And you should also like us on Facebook at Nightstorm Radio. Follow us on Twitter at Nightstorm Radio. And join the Nightstorm Nation mailing list on nightstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM.com. Nightstorm Radio on Love 860 AM WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station. We are you.
This is YG Nightstorm. And why should you listen to Nightstorm Radio? Because we relate to you or someone you know with topics taken directly from our lives. Every time you tune in, you'll hear a discussion about real subjects that affect real life. Why? Because me and the Queen have been there. So join us right here every Thursday morning from 11 to noon on Love 860 AM WAEC, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station. Nightstorm Radio. We are you.
Hello, Nightstorm Nation. This is Toby George Nightstorm, a.k.a. Lady Nightstorm, and I have a question for you. How much are you spending each day on lunch? $6, $7, $10 even? Do you know that for less than what you spend each week on lunch, you can advertise your business or service right here during the show on Nightstorm Radio? Why don't you inbox us on Facebook, send us a message on Twitter, or drop us a line at nightstorm.com. Let us show you how you can get your business or service out in front of the people. Now back to the show.
We are back. Welcome back to Nightstorm Radio, Nightstorm Nation listeners. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at Nightstorm Radio, Facebook at Nightstorm Radio, and also on nightstorm.com. That's NYGHTSTORM.com. Now, Angel Ed.
Yes, ma'am.
You have such a moving story. And I know before we went out to the break, YG had some things he wanted to discuss with you. Isn't that right, YG?
Yeah, okay. Now, Angel, man to man, because we finna get deep. Because, like I said, there's always a reason why people are moved to do the things they do. And when I wrote my first book many, many years ago, and Toby and I had just recently gotten a divorce. When we were married the first time, I had suffered a divorce from my first wife, and I was involved in a whole bunch of stuff that I shouldn't have been involved in. And because of my clinical depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, it made life literal hell in my households to where I lost everything. And I was in a motel room, a rat and roach-infested motel room, I may say, because I was dead flat broke, and I asked God, why is my life this way? And what do you want me to do? You've taken everything from me because of the issues that I have been doing, and I just ain't been doing the right thing. So after God moved in my life and he said, YG, you're going to do this, and you're going to have to trust me. I want to know, sir, because I have done my fair amount of research on you. You have a very, very deep testimony as well, and you have some struggles before you got your life together with some drugs and alcohol addictions. Can you please let the Nightstorm Nation members know that you got deep, but you found your way out through God? And can you please share your testimony, sir?
Oh, absolutely. With the MS that I have, I started to get that. I had symptoms when I was about 8 or 9 years old. Back then, they did not have a test for MS, so my whole life I was told I have an unknown illness. And that was very hard for me to deal with, even at such a young age. And then in school, kids can be very cruel.
Yeah.
And always messing with me and stuff like that. And I started drinking when I was 10 or 11. I don't remember. It was one or the other. And then I started doing drugs a year after I started drinking. I either started doing drugs at 11 or 12. And I was into it pretty heavily. And when I was 17, I was really into it. I was actually selling drugs. I was a drug dealer. We were at the end of my addiction. We were smoking about an ounce of crack a day. It was. I was like ready to cry. Whew.
That's deep, man. That's tough.
It was really, really hard. I could not tell my dreams from reality. I lost everything. Everything I lost, and I tried to kill myself 3 times. During this addiction. The last time when I went clean, it was October 12th, 1987. It was my last suicide try. I was in the hospital, and they pumped my stomach and everything. And then I think they were so tired of me coming, like every 6 months I would be there on a suicide mission, and they put me in the medical supply closet on a stretcher after they pumped my stomach. And I just remember laying there and fading in and out of consciousness, and just looking up and saying to God, I said, I'm sorry, hold on one second.
That's okay, because that was your moment. That's your moment.
Absolutely. I said, God, I don't fit in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing nothing but bad. I'm hurting everyone that I love. I don't care about anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, just please take me. I don't fit in here. Nothing's working out. Everything I do is wrong. And please take me.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't take me. And for so many years, I was like, I don't understand why I'm here. I don't get it. I don't know why I'm here. And then after the Lord's trip, and God brought me this path that he had me on. To me, it's a crazy path. And if I didn't look at it like this, I would have never even known it's the path that he put me on. And now I understand why I'm here. I'm here. My sole purpose in life, to me, is to end loneliness in nursing homes.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him with the MS, I said, if I didn't have this MS, I would never be doing this, and I know that. I would have never went to Lourdes, never met Donna, and I would have never started the whole thing. And I told him, I said, Lord, I'll keep this MS for the rest of my life. You don't have to heal me with my MS. Because that was my whole purpose to go to Lourdes, was just for me.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's okay.
And I will keep this. I'll keep the MS forever, Lord. I don't. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't. But I'm in pain every day. But it doesn't bother me. If I have to keep this so I can get rid of loneliness, I'm fine with that, man. It's all about others. We're here on this earth for everyone around us, not for ourselves. And so many people don't understand that. And I did not understand that. But now I get the whole picture.
Okay, because, like I said, I really want to talk about this, and the fact of what you're doing shows an incredible amount of strength because, we're in the same boat, brother. I still have clinical depression. I still suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder from being raped as a kid when I was 11 years old. Okay, but all of these things did affect my life as an adult. And like I said, I ran Toby away, all the children away, the behavior problems that I had to fix it. And sometimes it takes us losing everything and ultimately suffering for us to realize, okay, God, I need you. I'm ready to surrender. And after trying to kill myself several times, it got to a point, okay, obviously I can't kill myself, right? So God, maybe you want me here. And obviously, sir, after all them times you done went to the hospital, you couldn't do it right, bro, because you weren't meant to go. Okay, so God said, no, Angel, you going to be here. And because of the way how you've done things, this is how I'm going to change your life. You are going to help folks dealing with loneliness because you have tasted loneliness. You know what loneliness is. And you are going to make sure I'm going to use you to help folks realize that they don't have to be that way. And not only use you to help folks realize that, I'm going to use you to help other people realize that they have the power that I have given to them to help people dealing with these same issues. And in the process of doing all this good stuff, I'm going to help a whole lot of people through you. Am I right, my queen? Am I picking that up right?
You are absolutely right. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm listening to your testimony, and I hear the emotion that's coming through you. And my question to you, Angel, is when you wake up every day, you're dealing with this disease. I mean, we researched MS, when your immune system is attacking your nervous system and you have to deal with that and everything that you've gone through in your life. I know it has to be a challenge for you to get up and get out and take the focus off of yourself and put it on other people.
Absolutely. Every day, I wake up, and some days when I wake up, I'm in so much pain, that the legs are so tight they hardly move. And I just say to God, I said, I don't know if I can do this today, Lord. I said, I need your help. Without you, I'll never be able to do this. When I get to the nursing homes, it's almost like all my pain goes away. I mean, I don't really focus on the pain. I don't even see the pain. I don't feel the pain usually. And I'm just there to brighten their lives, and that's what this is all about, just trying to help others. When I just wanted to say a real quick story. When I was after I went to Lourdes, we came back. I was with my wife then, and 2 weeks before Christmas, she left me. And when she left me, I was getting 55 Christmas bags to bring up to the nursing home and give all those ladies a Christmas present. And I did not make the bags. So I had all the stuff, but I did not get them together. So when she left, I was like, I can't do this. There's no way I can do this. And so we finally did get the bags together 3 days before, and one day before Christmas, I brought them all up there. And on Christmas Day, which is I love Christmas, man. I absolutely adore Christmas. Mm-hmm. I was so depressed, so I went up there to the nursing home, and I was almost crying in the elevator going up to the 10th floor to their floor. And I was like, Lord, I can't do this, man. There's no way I can do this. And my MS was so bad with all the stress. And I was almost crying. And as soon as I stepped off the elevator and I put my foot on the floor, I had this chill go through my body. And I know it was the Holy Spirit because I feel it all the time. And all the sadness left me. Mm-hmm. And it was nothing but happiness. And it was the best Christmas I ever had. You know, all these people up there were giving the Christmas bags to. We had lotions and blankets and everything that they wanted. And they were all like, every one of them were like, "Is this for me? All of this is for me." It was the most joyous thing I've ever been through. I'm sorry I went off the subject there, but I just wanted to say that story because that is very gripping to me. It was just how God said, "Okay, you know, you're going to do this for me. I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to take that pain away from you, and now you're going to have a beautiful day." And it was a very beautiful day. But going back to the MS, it's a struggle every day. It really is. But God has let me still drive. I still drive myself. You know, He's given me my independence. I do have independence. I can do everything by myself, which thank God for that. You know, I couldn't before, but I got stem cells. I work for a stem cell doctor, and I get stem cells, and it has got me out of my wheelchair and walking again with a walker.
Wow.
And that's all God. You know, God brought me to there. That's how He healed me partially of my MS, is by the stem cells, so I can even do His work more. But it is a struggle every single day. But it's worth it. You know, it's so worth it. And I wouldn't change anything in my life. You know, if someone said we could take that MS from you, but I wouldn't have what I got going on right now at the nursing home, I would say, no, I'm good with what I got. And I am good with what I got. I'm used to it. You know, I use a walker, you know, and a lot of people look at you strangely with a walker, and I walk by them and I say hello and smile at every one of them. You know, if I say hello to everybody, though, anyway. But it's my illness is not me. You know, my walker is not me.
Exactly.
You know,
and a lot of people who want to, you know, identify as like MS, I think I know what that is Michael J. Fox. Remember Michael J. Fox? He has Parkinson? Okay.
Yeah, but it's kind of like the same thing.
Kind of like the same thing, yes. How can people get in touch with you, with your foundation, learn more about Turn-A-FROWN-AROUND and become a forever friend?
Absolutely. Our website is www.TURN-A-FROWN-AROUND.org. That's www.TURN-A-FROWN-AROUND.org, O-R-G. And my personal number is 908-454-8818. That's 908-454-8818. And we're also asking churches out there, and it's working very well, if they would adopt a nursing home. And that's working very well for us also. And if you don't have a church family and you still have to do this, just please give me a call. Mm-hmm. And what we do, we get a nursing home that's close to the people doing it. We want to make it convenient for everyone. And it's very simple. It's very, very simple. We just ask for 1 day a week for 20 minutes. You know, anybody can do 20 minutes. I actually have Chanel Price. She just won a gold medal in the world competition in Poland about 3 weeks ago. She's a forever friend. Wow. She went with me to the nursing home also, and she's a forever friend too. And if somebody can train, she's going to be training for the Olympics. If somebody can train for the Olympics and do this, I think anybody can.
Well, you know something, Angel, because normally, you know, at this point, we do a segment of our show called the Love Shout-Outs. Jared, you can still cue that music. But you know something, and we normally give the Nightstorm Nation members a chance to, you know, shout their love out to each other. But, sir, I want to do something a little bit different today, sweetheart. I want to send a shout-out of love to Mr. Angel Ed, okay? Mm-hmm. And, sir, I just want you to chill on out, and I want you to listen to this. And let us give you some love, because you have done, sir, so much for so many people. And you, sir, even though you have your own particular issues, you have your own adversities that you struggle with, you honestly struggle with every single day. You are so faithful and prayerful and determined to do what God wants you to do, that regardless of your issues, You step forth and you help the people that need you. And sir, I know you may not hear this enough, but I want to show just a little bit of what you give to so many people. Toby and I, and even our producer Jared, because he's sitting there, he's listening to your story as well. We from Night Storm Radio want to send a special love shout out to you, to your organization, Turn-A-Frown-Around, and we want folks to become a forever friend. And I, man to man, as someone who has suffered in life, just as you have, sir, who had to lose everything, just as you have, sir, to figure it out what God needs for me to do, just as you have, I want to tell you, man to man, thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for your service. And from one brother to another, I love you, sir. And God bless you.
Thank you so much, man. I love you too, and thank you so much for letting us come on and just tell what we do. You know, we just want to end loneliness. That's all I want to do. That's my purpose in life, and I'm not going to stop till it's done.
Well, your mission in life has definitely been laid out, and I know God is smiling on you every day that you push through, everything that you push through in order to make others feel happy, loved, and wanted. So, Ed, thank you so much for being on Night Storm Radio. And I also would like to give a big thanks to our guest earlier, Dr. Jen Alves, for being a guest on our show.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I want to send my love out to you and to YG, to our family, to Jared, to Love 860, to our Night Storm Nation. Everybody listening to Night Storm Radio, we still have these tickets for the Women Leadership Expo this Saturday, April the 5th. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on Facebook. And next week, we're going to welcome to the show domestic violence survivor, Miss Raina Gray, and pain management coach, Miss Bobby Anderson. So you don't want to miss that. So
until next time, y'all, have a safe week. And we love you. We'll see you next Thursday at 11 a.m. right here on Love 860 AM, Atlanta's inspirational talk radio station. Why, baby? Because we are you. God bless you. Have a good week. And thank you, Mr. Angel Ed. God bless you, sir.
Thank you.